Hey there, CJMS students. Welcome to classwork homework 8.3. And remember, your classwork video score from Edpuzzle needs to get filled in. It's practice. Calculators are okay. It's due tomorrow. So if you weren't in class, here are the notes. Today we talked about centers of measures of the center. So we've got mean and the median. The mean shows us where the center of the data is, but isn't it always a great representation? Like if I have a whole bunch of I got a 90, a 90, a 100, a 90, a 100, and then all of a sudden I got a 10, it really throws off my mean. So if I got outliers, not the best use of my mean, I maybe want to go for the median, which will tell me more about the middle of my data. So when we're talking about the mean, you can think of it as the fair share. How do we calculate the mean? Well, we find the total of everything by adding it up, and then we simply just divide by the number of data points. So here, I'm going to add up all my quiz scores and divide by 6, since there are 6 quiz scores, to find the average, which is another word for mean. So 492 divided by 6, my average is an 82%. Same thing with Kyrie Irving here, right? He's got 4 games that he played in. Those are his actual totals from this last series against the Pacers. So you add them up and you divide by how many data points. So 90, when you add those 4 up, divided by 4 gets you 22.5. All right, the median is another measure of center. It's kind of figuring out what the middle is. You gotta organize the data from least to greatest. That is the most important thing. You have to organize the data from least to greatest. So when we got this dot plot here, it's pretty easy. I just cross off 1 from each end. So I go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, and then notice I can't go 7, 7 because then I have no points left. So I have 2 points left. When you have 2 points left, you just add them together and divide by 2 to find the middle. So I had a 10 and an 8 left. So 10 plus 8 divided by 2 gives me 9. So the center of this data is 9. So the median is 9. All right. So on to the work that you need to do. So number 3 and number 4 asks you to find the mean and median for both. The very first thing you want to do before you do anything is order this stuff from least to greatest. I have now done that. I kind of write down a number and then I cross it off and I look for the next biggest number. I would highly recommend doing that. Now, if we do the mean, that means we want to do the subtotal divided by how many data points there are. So when I use my calculator and add all these up, I get a subtotal of 497. I got to be careful when I enter this stuff in. I got to look at my calculator, make sure I've entered in all the correct numbers. Calculator's not going to make a mistake. I am. I count up. I have 10 data points. So it's 497 divided by 10. Meaning my mean is 49.7. You can round to the nearest tenth on today's homework. All right, the median is going to be a little bit different. Again, start at one end, count off 1. Start at the other end, count off 1. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Notice I can't do 5, 5, so I'm left with 2. Again, when I'm left with 2 in the middle, I simply add them together and divide by 2. My median of this is 47. The middle of that data is 47. All right. Number 4, again, the very first thing you want to do is order the numbers. So I've done that, and it's careful. You got to be careful because you got 14 data points here, so you got to make sure you have 14 numbers that you've ordered, right? The mean means we add it all up, divide by how many we have. Again, I can't stress the importance of being careful. Make sure as you enter into the calculator, 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1.5 plus 1.5. You mess up on one digit, it's going to mess up your entire thing. So 31 divided by 14, because there were 14 data points. And again, we can round to the nearest tenth, so you get a really long decimal, but we'll just say 2.2. So 2.2 inches of rainfall represents that average. Now time for the median. You recognize that you've got 14. You don't have to do 1, 1, 1, 1. You could just say, hey, I'm going to do 5 on this side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 5 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I can do at least one more here, and I can do one more here. All right, I'm left with those 2 in the middle. That means 1.5 plus 2 divided by 2 will give me my median, right? Now, I'm not always saying that you always have to add the 2 numbers in the middle, but when you have an even set of numbers, like 10, 14, in this case, both of them, you will have to add the 2 numbers in the middle and divide by 2 to get your median, your middle number. Right? Your homework on the back is going to be using the Chicago Bulls. I've given you 7 players here. I want your mean height in inches, your mean in weight, your mean in age, your mean points per game, your mean rebounds, your mean assists, your mean salary. So let's do mean height in inches. So first off, we're going to have to convert all these guys to inches. So like they're all over 6 feet. Some of them are 7 feet tall. So every foot is 12 inches. So you'd have to do 6 times 12, which is 72, then add the inches. So for Wendell Carter, for instance, he's 6'10". So 6 times 12 is 72 plus 10 gives you 82 inches. So he's 82 inches. Chris Dunn, 6 times 12 again is 72 inches, but now he's plus 4 more inches. So he's 76 inches. So you just go across and figure out these guys and their inches. Robin Lopez is an easy one because he's 7 feet, so it's just 7 times 12, so he's 84 inches tall. Same with Larry Markkinen. And then Denzel Valentine is 6'6", so 6 times 12 plus 6, he's 78 inches tall. All right, so now that you have your mean height in inches, you're just going to go ahead and add them up and divide by how many players we have. In this case, we have 7. So you get your subtotal of 561. You're dividing by 7. Like that's the work I want to see on every problem, right? So again, it's 80.14. But it just asks us to round to the nearest tenth, so 80.1, right? And then inches, okay? So the biggest thing is you need to be super careful with your data entry on your calculator today and make sure that you are typing in the right numbers. When you get down to 8 through 10, I want the median. These should be a little bit easier because you only have 7 data points, so you should always be able to pick the middle. So if you want the median age, basically you're going to say 20 years old, 21, you want to put it in order, right? So 20 for Wendell Carter, 21 for Larry Markkinen. Go through all the guys, right? All the way to Robin Lopez at the very end, and then, cross off 1, 2, 3. Notice this time you don't have an even amount of numbers, so you just have one number in the middle. So it's 25 years old. Okay, that's it. The rest are yours. Call me if you have questions.